This is the third generation Kia Ceed. Made since 2006, Kia's compact hatchback received new looks, more standard equipment, and it can easily compete against Volkswagen Golf. Kia Ceed is made in Slovakia. Production of the first generation started in late 2006. Since then, over 1.3 million Ceeds have left the Zilina factory. Third generation lost the apostrophe before D, and now the name is an acronym for Community of Europe with European Design, because the car is not only produced in Europe but also designed in Europe. Speaking of design, Volkswagen Golf is boring and the new Kia Ceed is generic. Second generation was very distinctive, but third generation is like a best-of album. Headlamps look like from Kia's flagship Stinger. From the side, especially rear half, looks like the previous generation Mercedes-Benz A Class. In the rear three-quarter view, there is a bit of BMW 1 Series, and looking at the car straight from the back, it looks more like an estate than a hatchback. One can complain Kia designers were not creative enough, or one can say my imagination overinterprets their ideas. But look at it this way. 10 years ago, did you think we'd be comparing Kia to a BMW? The 395 liters boot is among the biggest in the segment. It's 15 liters more than in the Golf and 3 liters less than in Peugeot 308. There's a mini spare under the boot floor. There are also a couple of shopping bag hooks, a 12-volt socket, maybe an option in some markets. Backrest splits 40-60, but there's no hatch to carry longer items. Not much is happening in the back. There are no air vents, no USB ports or a 12-volt socket. Only an armrest with 2 cup holders. There are also places for water bottles in the door bins. Legroom and headroom is fine for a medium-height passenger as long as the driver is medium height as well. Middle seat is mainly good for smaller people because there is not much space for your feet. Also, the seats are mounted low, so foot space is limited. In the front, comparison to the Golf is well deserved. There is a lot of adjustment in the seat and steering wheel. Instrument cluster is easy to read and infotainment system is easy to use. There is a place for your smartphone, USB ports, including a fast charging one, a 12-volt socket, cup holders in the center console and in the door bins, storage under the armrest, a glove box. The only problem are the climate control knobs which display the temperature. You can barely see them on a sunny day, especially if wearing polarized glasses. We rarely pay attention to car keys unless they bear a large logo of a brand which suggests the owner has more money than taste. In the Stinger, Kia introduced this under the thumb closing button, which is easy to find. More than can be said about the other 2 buttons on the side. So 0 points for ergonomics. Better spend about €700 on a technology package with keyless access and ignition. Kia offers the new Ceed in 5 engine variants, all Euro 6D temp compliant. For the traditionalist buyer, there is the 1.4 naturally aspirated engine with a manual transmission, available in 3 trim levels. Then there are 1.0 and 1.4 turbocharged motors producing 120 and 140 horsepower respectively. The latter is also available with a DCT. And finally, there is a 1.6 diesel with 115 or 136 horsepower, the latter with a DCT. Trim levels and names differ between markets. This is more or less Germany's mid-level Vision trim with some options. But even a standard Kia Ceed gets 6 airbags, power windows front and rear, power and heated mirrors, AC, armrest, Bluetooth, radio with MP3, as well as lane assist and autonomous emergency braking, as well as fatigue monitor. These safety systems are not because Kia wants to bump up the price, but because they are or soon will be compulsory and they will positively affect crash test score. At the time of filming, the new Ceed has not yet undergone Euro NCAP tests. Standard lane assist is yet another one of Euro NCAP's suggested systems, which are likely to appear in all new cars in the future. It is very sensitive, and without any Shut up! And without any reason, it often tells me to keep my hands on the wheel, like I'm driving without them. I mean, come on, I always have my hands on the wheel, right? Anyway, lane keep assist can be disabled by pressing a button here over my left knee. However, this is only a temporary solution because every time I start the car, the system is on by default, and I even heard engineers from other brands complain about this requirement. How is Kia Ceed to drive? It's okay. Steering is direct enough, but not too sensitive. Soundproofing is adequate. Damping improves from generation to generation. I remember when Kias and Hyundais just maybe 5 years ago, they had very poor damping, and this car is really an improvement over that. What's more, Ceed is becoming an increasingly mature car, and rear suspension is now multi-link regardless of the engine and trim level. You're getting a Kia with very sophisticated rear suspension, which copes very well with all the imperfections on the road. The car is more stable as a result. Kia Ceed with a 1.4 turbo engine and a manual gearbox accelerates from 0 to 100 km/h in less than 9 seconds. It's slightly slower with DCT, but at the same time more flexible. A DCT car will accelerate from 80 to 120 km/h in 6.5 seconds instead of 8.7 seconds in the manual version. Combined fuel economy should be below 6 liters per 100 kilometers. In real life, it's closer to 8. My biggest complaint is about taking off and the gear change. Even without heavy load, it's hard to drive off quickly without burning the clutch or stalling. And the gearbox is anything but precise. After a whole day of city driving, I stopped counting how many times I heard a grinding noise when I couldn't get it in the right gear. Like other Kia models, also the Ceed is offered with a 7-year warranty. The car should get basic oil and filter change about once a year and a more thorough, slightly more expensive service every other year. If you get this car with SatNav, you also get 7-year free updates. And then there's the price. Ceed starts at €16,000, but this test car with options costs about €24,000. Even fully loaded Kia doesn't offer everything you can get in a Volkswagen Golf, but a similarly spec'd Golf will be at least a couple of €1,000 more expensive. And yes, I am comparing a Kia to a Volkswagen. Like many other cars in this segment, Kia Ceed is not a particularly emotional vehicle, but if you're looking for a sensibly equipped everyday car, take the new Ceed for a test drive. Have you already tested the new Ceed? How do you find it? Or maybe you're considering one of its competitors. Let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, consider helping me on Patreon or PayPal. Links in the description below. Also share this video with your friends who are looking for a new car, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so yet. New episodes every Friday. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.